Well, thanks everybody for joining us this morning. I want to welcome our council members first. Of course, Councilmember James Brown. We'll hear more from James Brown in just a minute. And Richard Maloney and Amanda Mays Bledsoe are here. We also have several members of the city's new Commission on Veterans Affairs. And Councilmember James Brown will be sharing some information about that in just a few minutes. Today we are here at the Lexington Veterans Center to make some exciting announcements. Before we get to those, we want to thank Director Lloyd Jackson and also Colonel Lloyd Jackson and the center for having us here today. Director Jackson, come on up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I would like to thank the mayor and all his entourage that are here today in support of our veterans. I'd like to also tell you a little about the program. Lexington Vet Center, what it does is supports combat veterans coming back from combat, and it helps those folks reassimilate into society to be a great part of society and a great part of their community. We also work with those folks that are reeling from military sexual trauma. We work with those folks that are coming back with a lot of challenges. So a lot of these programs that we're talking about right now, this program specifically, Mayor, has to do with taking these folks that have given so much for their country and continue to give for their country and bringing them back and getting them assimilated back into life so they can be a functional part of society. And what we glean from that is we're having so much success. We're covering 82 of your counties in Kentucky right now. We got 25 sites in the communities in these different counties, and we're out there right now. We have over 500 veterans that we're working with currently. So, and this right here at Lexington is the hub, and we're really excited about the fact of this new initiative, and we appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Lloyd, thank you so much. Thanks for the mission that you just shared with us and the commendable, the worthy work that you're doing. Lexington, of course, has a rich history of brave men and women who have served their nation honorably in the armed services. I've had a chance to meet many of them, and the stories they tell are always a source of pride and inspiration for all of us. Just a few moments with them reminds us all of how blessed we are to live in this great city and this great nation. Today we're excited to announce that Lexington has been designated a Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame city. That was an applause line, folks. Kentucky, once again, a Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame city. Now, this designation comes with some obligations and expectations, of course, some responsibilities. And we intend to live up to every one of them. Things like always supporting and showing gratitude to our military veterans and to assisting their families. One of the ways we're doing this is with Lexington's newly created Commission on Veterans Affairs. The Commission was created last October. Its members advise and recommend programs and policies to the City Council on programs designed to benefit the city's veterans and their families. And here to tell us more about the new commission is a council member, who has been such a big part in its initiation. Councilmember James Brown.
Thank you, Mayor Gray, and I'd like to start by thanking all the veterans for your service and your contribution to our great country. I'd also like to thank the council members that worked with me on this initiative, Councilmember Maloney, Councilmember Bledsoe, and Councilmember Lamb. It was around this time last year that we started meeting with a group of veterans, a lot that are in this room with us today. And what we talked about, we inventoried what the city was currently doing to celebrate and honor our veterans, and then we talked about what more we could do as a city to what we could do to do more for our veterans. And kind of the logical next step after we worked with that group to reintroduce the parade, and then we had made contact with the Kentucky Veteran Hall of Fame nonprofit that had decided to bring their 3-day celebration to Lexington, was to start a commission to continue to strengthen that relationship between the city and our veterans. So that's one of the reasons that we're here today, is to announce and try to encourage others to sign up and be a part of this veteran commission Today, the members that are here present with us today that are on the commission is Councilmember Richard Maloney, Councilmember Amanda Bledsoe, Ms. Phyllis Abbott, Jeff Clark, Susan Murray, Jim Thurman, Ann Vandervoort, and Sarah Van Vereen. I hope I said that right. I look forward to continue working with our veterans to see what we can do as a city to help celebrate and honor them for their service. And I think we're off to a good start. I think this commission is the logical next step. I'm looking forward to the Kentucky Veteran Hall of Fame ceremony that's going to take place in September. They've already made contacts with the Lexington Legends to be the nonprofit at their Military Appreciation Day at the stadium this year. So I think this is a great way to get this year started, to keep up with the momentum that we started last year and to move forward. So thank you all.
Thanks, James. And now, finally, we want to let everyone know that later this year, in September, Lexington will be very proud to host the 2018 Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And here to tell us more about that Hall of Fame and the induction ceremony itself is Hall of Fame committee member Gary Greiser. Gary?
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here today, and it's an honor to be bringing the Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame to Lexington. We have been in existence for 4 years. We have 4 classes that have been inducted into the Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame. We've been in Frankfort up until now, and we've pretty much outgrown Frankfort, partly because they tore down the facilities that we've been meeting in over there. But we're very glad to be able to announce that we'll be at the Griffin Gate Marriott Resort and Spa in September to do our induction ceremony at that time. I hope that many of you will make plans to be part of that. We have a gala dinner on September the 7th. That's on a Friday night. And we recognize all of the folks that are going to be inducted on that night. And then the following day, on Saturday morning, the 8th of September, we actually do the induction ceremony, and we invite you to be part of both of them. H.B. Dethridge, who is the executive director and founder of this hall, expresses his regret that he's not able to be here today. He sent me to stand in for him, and I'm honored to stand in for him today. He's a good friend of mine and a wonderful, wonderful human being. He began recently the Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame city designation. And I believe Lexington was the first to pass a resolution to become a Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame city. Let me just back up a minute to tell you that the Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame, to be inducted into the hall, we're looking for people who have served in the military with distinction and have had a DD-214. They have an honorable discharge from the military. And they have gone on after their military experience to do some incredible things to serve their community, their state, their nation. And those are the people who are being inducted into the hall. We have about 100 people currently in the halls. Reverend Thurman is one of those inductees. And we will induct about 25 more this fall. In order to be a city, the city had to pass a resolution agreeing to be supportive of what the Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame is all about, and also to nominate at least one person to be considered for induction into the hall. And we won't limit that to one. We would encourage anybody in Lexington who knows a worthy veteran to nominate them. If you go to our website, kyveterans.org, all the information is on that website, and the forms to nominate someone are there as well. So today we present this sign designating that Lexington is a Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame city, and we would like to present back to you a proclamation that is not very long. So if you'll indulge me, I'll read this. It begins with the motto, honoring veterans who continue to serve above and beyond. The Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame. Whereas, by order of proclamation from Lexington Fayette Urban County Council Mayor Jim Gray and Council Member James Brown, whereas proclaiming to honor and support veterans, and whereas proclaiming to submit at least one Kentucky veteran by nomination to Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame each year for possible induction into the Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame by ceremony. As founder and executive director of the Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame, I present to Lexington, Kentucky, and Fayette County this road sign proclaiming Lexington, Kentucky, a Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame city, and that this sign be placed in a very public place within the county for all to see. Signed by H.B. Deathridge, founder and executive director of the Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame. Thank you very much for partnering with us.
Thank you so much, Gary, and we will find that prominent place for the sign to be placed.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you, sir. That's just one of the responsibilities, and we appreciate you letting us know all of them. So I want to thank Gary. I want to thank thank all of you for being here today for this event. Now, and we will take any questions on one-on-ones from the press. So this is it. Thank you all so much.